Hello everyone, my name is DeLaBruere. I'm going to be a sophomore in the fall. I've been working in the Evolution and Cognition Lab on a study involving children's understanding of randomness. So a little bit of introduction. Previous research suggests that the hot hand phenomenon, which is a tendency to perceive illusory streaks or clumps, is a human universal tied to humans' evolutionary history of foraging. This study investigates how this misperception of randomness develops ontogenetically. So we've created two tasks for 4 to 6-year-old children in order to investigate this. The first task is a sequential foraging card task, and the second is a computerized paradigm where children create different distributions of raindrops. A lot is known about the misperception of randomness in adults. There's been a lot of paradigms created in order to investigate this. For example, on the left of the poster, you'll see the grid distribution task, where adults are shown 3 different grids with 3 different alternation probabilities, one clumpy, one random, and one dispersed, and they're asked, which grid do you think is the most random? And most of the time they say it's the dispersed distribution. What is unknown, however, is if children exhibit the same misperception of randomness that adults do. So this study will help us understand the developmental progression of hot hand beliefs and how these underlying learning mechanisms operate. So there have been a couple paradigms created that measure randomness perception in children, but not how it develops. For example, in the middle of the poster, there's the marble board task, where there's a rectangular box that rests on a seesaw with 8 white and 8 red balls in it, separated by a divider. The children are asked where they think the balls will end up before the box is tipped back and forth. So the two tasks that we've been developing will hopefully not only help us measure randomness perception in children, but also how it develops. So I'm going to explain the tasks a little bit more. The first task, which is the sequential foraging card task, the researcher will read out a cover story about an animal looking for food to the child, and a number of flashcards will be lined up upside down in a predetermined random order, and then the child will have a chance to predict if the animal will find food under the card or if they won't, so a hit or a miss. The second task, which is going to be presented on an iPad. The children are again read a cover story about it starting to rain and then asked to draw where they think the raindrops will fall on an outdoor basketball court. The location and the time data will be analyzed and visualized in MATLAB, which you can see an example of 3 different MATLAB outputs on the very right of the poster. We also have code created that will take this information and calculate a z-score and give us a statistic. Children ages 4 to 6 are going to be tested at the SUNY Potsdam Child Care Center in Potsdam, New York, as well as at the Max Planck Institute for Human Development in Berlin, Germany. Thank you for listening.